Hello everyone, and welcome to the Brickformula review of LEGO set 79100, Kraang Lab Escape. It has 90 pieces, ranges 5 to 12, and this is from the Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this set retails for $12.99. And here in the front, it looks like we have All Out War, and over there we have Kraang. I'll talk about him later. And here in the back, we see some of the cool stuff that you can do, and there's even a comic strip at the bottom here, where Michelangelo escapes, and he gives Kraang the clang. Well, anyway, I'll talk about this set in more detail coming up. Here are the minifigures, and first up is Michelangelo. And in a way, he's exclusive to this set. He does appear in another set, but in that one, his face has his tongue sticking out, and this one, he's smiling. And honestly, I prefer that one because this one looks like he's a little bit too happy to be in prison. And plus, at other times, it looks like he's dazed and confused because of the way his eyes are staring out into space. And at other times, it looks like he has a bright idea. But anyway, he comes with nunchucks, and I'm surprised that they use these tubes for the handles there. But I guess they work. And he comes with a pizza, and he'll use that to get out of prison, which I'll explain later. Here's a closer look at his details there. And here's the back. Love the shell there. And what's really interesting is that they printed the shell on the back of the torso anyway. And I guess that will come in handy later on. Next we have a foot soldier. I could definitely use more of these. And they look pretty good, just like the ones from the show. You know there's really not a whole lot of details here. Love the head though. He's got a foot right there on his forehead there. And the eyes are pretty nice. He'll probably win the staring contest. And there's the back. And finally, we'll take a look at the Kraang, at least one of them. And to be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure if this is the correct scaling for him, because we do get the Kraang in another set, and when you compare the two, this one's a lot bigger. But despite that, he does look pretty cool. This whole thing is like a big rubber molding, and here's what it looks like all around. And I do like how on the bottom we have a minifig head, so it kind of reminds me of those alien clingers from Alien Conquest, where you can just attach them to minifig heads. And now his favorite color is pink, and your favorite color is going to be pink too. Next we'll take a look at the little laser shield prison that you get to build, and it's pretty straightforward. It's got a simple exploding mechanism, and here's what it looks like from the side here. And right here we have some clips for his nunchucks, and here's the view of the front there. We have a control panel, and this is the switch to throw the cage open, well technically. And here's a view of the other side, and you press down here to activate the explosion. And the way it works is you can just take that right off, and we'll just slide in Michelangelo. And here's the interesting part. The way I understand it, he happens to have a pizza on him. Honestly, I think a paperclip would have been more practical, but for all intents and purposes, he has a pizza on him, and he's going to use that to leave it on the floor there. And then the foot soldier's going to walk by, he slips, activates the switch, and explodes Michelangelo out of there. And that's how that works. And now he's going to take the fight to the Kraang. And finally, we'll take a look at the Kraang's mech walker, which is a pretty straightforward design, but it does have a lot of neat stuff to it. So here's what it looks like all around. Okay, there's the side view, there's the back, the other side, and this top half can spin a full 360 degrees. And on the bottom here, it looks like we have a canister of ooze, and the legs can close up if you want them to, although there doesn't seem to be much point because when the legs are opened up all the way, it actually matches up to the same level of the canister. So this is when you have it standing, you don't have to worry about the legs moving too much. So that's kind of neat. And take a look in the inside here. We actually have some printed round tile pieces there, which is a nice surprise. There's actually a little speedometer. I guess one's to tell you the speed, the other one's probably his HP. Who knows? He has very little HP. So we can attach the Kraang to this little spot right here, and he fits in just nicely. So just close that up. You see that? He just made it. And I think that's really neat. And we have two flick fire missiles. And when things get a little hairy, you can always detach it from the base and fly away from it. Kind of reminds me of Dr. Wily from those Mega Man games. You know, when he's losing, he has to escape. Well, of course he has to escape. How else would you have another episode? And then the season 2, season 3. Anyway, let's move on to the recommendations. Overall, it's a pretty good set. When it comes to value, we have a price per piece ratio of 14.4 cents per piece, but we're getting about $18 to $20 worth of parts here. And that's pretty good since this retails for $13. And when it comes to the play value, I would say it's pretty good too. For 13 bucks, we do have a lot going on here. We have a laser shield prison that you can explode to get Michelangelo out. We got a foot soldier to fight with, and the Kraang too, and a mech walker. And that right there has 2 flick fire missiles, and it can detach to escape. So yeah, it's pretty good. And plus, I was a huge fan of the Ninja Turtles back in 1987, and just seeing this is really neat. And if you're wondering if you should get into it too, I recommend getting this set first because it is the cheapest Ninja Turtle set out there, and it'll definitely give you a good idea of what to expect from the other sets. And that's it. That sums up my review. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. So he kind of reminds me of those alien clingers from Alien Conquest. So if you want, you can always pull that out. And finally, we'll take a look at the Kraang, at least one of them. And he looks pretty nice. And this is what your brain would look like too if it was on drugs. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Some of you guys might think that's cool.